All right, next. What advice would you give a friend struggling with homosexuality and a desire to follow Jesus? Okay, this is a great question. I think this is a very important question for our day, a hot question that people are dealing with all the time. And I think it's important on the front side to define a little bit of what we're talking about when we use the word homosexuality. Because the Bible makes an important divide between sin and a temptation to sin, okay? So when someone says they're struggling with homosexuality, I want to know, are you struggling with the temptation that you're attracted to someone of the same sex, or are you giving yourself over to that temptation in that type of activity? Is it the temptation or is it the sin? Because the truth is, for all of us, we experience temptation, right? We experience temptation. If you don't give into it, it's not sin, it's not wrong to have a temptation. And there may be somebody who struggles with greed, and another person who struggles with polygamy, and another person who struggles with adultery and gossip, and someone who struggles with homosexuality. If you don't give yourself to it, then you're still completely righteous before God. You've got nothing to be forgiven about. And so because we have different kinds of brokenness in our life, that's not something that should be condemned. It's not the temptation. Now, if there's somebody who says, I want to follow Jesus, but I'm in the lifestyle, that's a very different thing. That would be like somebody saying, I want to follow Jesus, but I'm stealing, but I'm committing adultery, but I'm rabidly gossiping. Well, what you do is you invite them to leave their life of sin and give themselves fully to Jesus. Now, I think as a church, we've oftentimes made the mistake of dealing with homosexuality as kind of the super sin. Right? It's the unforgivable sin. Get out of our community. That is a huge, huge mistake for us. We need to be welcoming people who are struggling with all kinds of sins into our community. Because if we didn't include people who are struggling with sin in our community, how many people would be here tomorrow? See you raise your hands? Yeah, one guy almost did. No, I still have that. So the truth is we have to be radically inclusive and welcoming people of all different brands of sin, and then inviting them into the life of Jesus. Here's the deal. The closer you get to Jesus, the more you want to leave that life of sin. The more you're in the light, the more the darkness just isn't appealing to you. So we invite people not to morality, we invite people to Jesus, and then we let Jesus do his internal work inside of them and deliver them from not only the sin, the action of the sin, but the desire to sin. And it works the same for all different sins, including homosexuality. Amen? Amen.